Welcome back to another episode of Virtualize Everything. Today's episode, as you can see on the screen, is about setting up SSH keys. SSH keys are a way of generating encrypted SSH communications between a client and a server. They're very useful for security as well as unhindered setup and controlling access. So to set up SSH keys, you're going to run the command SSH -keygen -t RSA. That will, when added to the file storage path and the passphrase, will generate an encrypted key. Now, your system's going to generate two keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is going to be placed on the server, so it knows that it is communicating with the correct key, and your private key is going to be housed on your system. Let's watch a quick video on this process taking effect. So you can see we're storing this in root.ssh ID RSA. Entering the password or passphrase and confirming. So as you can see, the process happens quite quickly and it displays an image when it is successful. So the next step is going to be to upload this ID or your public ID to the server. Now your server already has to be set up with SSH, but the process is quite forward as long as your system is set up with SSH. So the command is SSH-copy-ID space the username that you would log into the server with, and then @ and the IP address of the server. So here's a quick video of the process taking effect. And the password you're entering here is going to be your login password for the user account. So the final step of this process is just going to be SSHing into your server. Now, we're SSHing from one Linux environment into another Linux environment. Both the server and client in these cases has been running Ubuntu 19. So here's the final step of actually setting up the SSH for the client into the server. Now, you're going to note a couple of things, that you're actually asked for the passphrase now instead of the user password. So let's go ahead and watch this. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward, and you're able to go ahead and set up your SSH pretty similar to the way before. Now, the configuration that was used today was for security. You can configure settings to allow you not to use a password or passphrase. I personally like to leave passphrases on. They are a little bit more difficult to remember when you have multiple systems, but it is just another level of security when you do this. So this is a new format for Virtualize Everything videos. I think I'm going to try to use this format for more videos. I don't know if it's going to work for all of our tutorials, but let me know in the comments what you think of this format, whether it was easier to follow along or harder to follow along. My goal is to make a video format that is the easiest possible way for the viewer to follow along and accomplish their goals or the end project that they're trying to research, as well as give the viewer the most amount of information that I can in the simplest, easiest form to digest this information in. As always, have a good night, and I hope you enjoyed.